Recording in progress.
Roll call. We got Marjan on Zoom this evening, and then starting at the end.
Jeff Grandy.
Marie Judy.
Yeah, Michael. Randy Carney.
Aaron Bear.
Trisha Erie.
There's no agenda revisions this evening. Approval of the board minutes from February 12th.
Seconded.
Then moved and seconded. Any additions or corrections? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the workshop minutes from February 22nd. Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there a second? Then moved and seconded. All those, or any additions or corrections? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Student representative.
Hello, my name is Lilia Wicker. I am one of the senior class council members. I'm also involved with Green Club, OSA, and leadership. Thank you for the opportunity to share an update from the student leadership. Winter sports are wrapping up. State for snowboarding is this week. Our boys basketball team made it to the second round of playoffs. We had a great student section come out and support our team. We are looking forward to the start of spring sporting events this week. We brought back Thrive at 25 this year for the first time since pre-COVID. Our sophomores will be going through this. We'll go through this on Wednesday during second period and advisory. Then this Thursday and Friday, we will have our 8th grade CTE tours. Our leadership students will take our middle school students around to get an overview of our 10 CTE programs. Thank you again for the opportunity to share.
Thank you very much.
And Louis, can I ask you one question? Did you talk about Dornbecker? Is that coming?
I have not been.
You know, it's okay. You notice, I didn't know. I know it's coming around the corner at some point.
It's good as rehearsals are going current.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to the next meeting, I'll find out.
No worries, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, superintendent's report, Mr. Barrett.
Yeah, just a couple things. We had some folks from our community present last month about some, concerns about programmatic advancements, in particular around forestry. And prior to COVID, we had been working with a local business owner. One of the concerns that we did hear is about equipment operation, heavy equipment operation, and things of that nature, and the tree trimming and that sort. So we've been working pre-COVID actually on trying to get some program details dialed in around heavy equipment operation. I had a meeting tomorrow with the local business owner that owns an excavation company around some opportunities for our kids. Randy has some connections in the unions, and so we've been in contact with some of his contacts, and then I'm also going to meet with the representative at some point here in the near future from IBEW about tree trimming and opportunities for kids therein as well. So it's not that we don't want programs, right? We have a lot of other programs, and sometimes when you get too many competing interests, right, the pot of money just doesn't necessarily exist, and so we want to partner a little bit differently with folks in the community and folks in the trades. And see if there's not a way to maybe offset some of that by having them come out and train by using some of their equipment and the like. But we think it's very promising that we can get some things off the ground. And our intent when it comes to programs like that is really so that kids could experience and get the experiences necessary when they're 16 and 17. And then if they could just walk out and test when they're 18, right, for some of those jobs and or move up on the top of the list on a potential union job, then we're going to position them better for the future. And that's really our intent. We don't want them to necessarily have to walk out and then spend the next year and a half, 2 years on all that legwork if they can get it done right here. So that'll be that conversation tomorrow, and that'll be a conversation that we'll continue to have at the district level for sure. So, and then there's been some turnover at the city as it relates to our police department with the chief. Former police chief Kim Yamashita is now back in an interim role. Chief Yamashita, when she first came to our district, I think it was in 2010. She and I collaborated on emergency operations planning. So the emergency operations plan that we have now, as we know it, that was Julia, Chief Yamashita, and then myself collaborating on that. The Ryan High fight all those parts and pieces. We have some big changes in our community by way of the infrastructure, the number of housing units, et cetera. And some of our reunification planning has had a change, and we've had to modify how we handle some of those parts and pieces of our emergency operations plan. And so Chief Yamashita was intimately involved prior to getting ready to do some training coming up here after spring break. Once we get back, and she'll be involved with that. So we're excited to have her kind of come back into the fold and help us navigate what I guess together we created so long ago. It'll kind of be a bit surreal to kind of have her back in the picture, having kind of brought this thing to life originally with her. And some of you were on the board at that time, and you remember it started with, she just did a vulnerability assessment for our school district and went schools, every school. And so the beauty of what our city does for us by way of our police department is they provide services for us in the entirety of our school district, which the majority of is outside of their jurisdiction. But they still do provide those services. So we've appreciated the city on that front and everything that they're willing to do for us as far as law enforcement is concerned, and really providing those opportunities for all of our principals to reach out and contact. I think Kendra, you use them, right? You don't call the county, right? Good. So they'll even respond to vouchers, and I think they get there in 12 minutes. Is that what?
Armando told me 7.
7. Wow. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna say, for those that can hear us, I'm gonna say 12. Because saying 7, that just that's just sounds good. I believe it though. So we're glad to continue that work and make progress where we really need to make some progress. And then the facilities assessment. So we discussed the facilities assessment at our last board workshop. If you were unable to attend, I would love to have just a conversation with you all at the same time at some point in my office, so we can talk about what it is, what it isn't, and what our next steps are. But we're now going to get squarely into the planning phase, if you will, right? Once we're beyond that assessment phase, we've got our architect working on cleaning up some of the parts and pieces. There's some old maps used for some of the acreage on some of the parcels, et cetera, cleaning that up. We hope to have that back by spring break. We hope to then be able to take a look at that and then start the long range planning. After that, I think Julia is going to start scheduling meetings like for all of the schools in April, and then continue those through May, at which point in time we will then work with a company to generate a survey for the community, to push out to the community to say, hey, here's what it looks like our needs are from an assessment perspective. Here's where we believe we can take our district as it relates to our facilities by way of those needs. How interested are you as a community in participating in something like that? And we know, I'm just saying it nicely, participating means, what does a bond look like, right? To help us navigate that. The prior facilities assessment we did came back, it was between 51 million and 70 million, just to bring our schools up to speed at that time from a mechanical, electrical, and plumbing perspective. And so that's really wasn't any additions, that wasn't any expansion, that was just taking care of the shell, making sure that the integrity of those facilities was no longer going to be compromised. So we expect that it's a lot more than that now, and there's nothing we can really do about it. The cost of materials has gone up, right? The cost of labor goes up, so it's just what happens in economies. And we are, I guess, excited and a bit taken aback by some of the pricing we've already seen as we've had these conversations about potential dollars per square foot. What it might cost just for a single boiler, HVAC units, et cetera. So some of you work squarely in construction and or lending and or real estate, and so you know what the economy does and how the economy takes those turns. And some of you work on policies and you understand also how those impact policies. We have a board that's very astute as it relates to how economies, right, kind of manifest in this excessive cost for doing the work. And then public works projects, for some reason, always seem to cost more than those private projects, right? So we believe we've positioned the district, the board our business department, through our relations with our unions by way of our HR to package a quality opportunity for our community. We've refunded on that bond previously. We've done everything we could to drive the cost of the bond per thousand down. The community has grown in the same amount of time, right? And so the gap has grown a bit from the previous bonded amount, which was about $2.37. And so I think we're down under 180 per thousand hours, somewhere along those lines. Don't quote me, but we're real close. And so I believe that we've been the best stewards of the public's money that we could be, and given the circumstances, given the economy, given how the state has funded public education, and I'm real happy to be able to have a conversation again with the community about how we can continue to advance our students, our staff, through a potential bond. And we're hopeful that we've done a good job by way of our kids in our community academically, right, programmatically, athletically. We've upheld our commitment to them. And where we said that children will thrive, I believe, at least maybe because I'm biased, I believe they are. I believe they're advantaged by the work that our board does. I believe they have advantages that other kids in other school districts don't. And that's not just me saying that. We're nearly 92% graduation right now. And when we started this work, we were somewhere on or about 63%. So our board, this board, previous boards have done a phenomenal job. Our community has done an outstanding job investing in our children. And I believe that our administrative team has been the best stewards of those investments that we can be. And again, very hopeful that we could advance this cause to the next level. And someday, we're all kind of getting older when we all retire. We're gonna leave this place in the best shape possible for future generations. They can be proud to be pioneers. Questions, concerns, thoughts? Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. I didn't get any yellow cards, so I assume there's no citizens wishing to speak. Certified staff contacted me and said they're not going to be here to speak, and classified staff generally doesn't speak. Moving on to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion to approve the consent agenda. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No action items this evening, no information and discussion items this evening. Announcements, the board budget workshop is 6 p.m. on April 1st. OTA board meeting is April 2nd, and no joke. The joke is Tim's not going to bring us coffee. And the next board meeting is April 8th. No reason for
No reason.
If there's no other duties before the board, we will adjourn.
Thank you.
14 minutes. You can do better.
I want to at least get our. Wow.